single-level Viewliners. We're in one of the brand new, upgraded Viewliner 2 carriages. Now, I have a whole video explaining room types. I'll link to it in the description below. But let's go through a brief overview. On this room, you could book a coach seat like this, a roomette like this, an accessible bedroom, or you can do what I did, go all out with a bedroom, and I definitely appreciated this incredible space. Let's look around. There's a sofa here that can fit up to 3 people fairly easily. You'll have a folding chair. It's where I spend a lot of time. The storage up top is wonderful. There's a lot more storage in here than before, so my suitcase is now up on top of the bathroom. What a great use of space. And there's even more storage over there. Of course, the sofa folds down to a bed at night, and there's another bed that folds here. There's a ladder stored over there. You'll have 4 US-style sockets in the room, along with plenty of light switches. Here, you'll find a call button for your room attendant, and another to turn off the public address system. This folding table was great for work or room service. The thermostat never worked, but the room remained comfortable for the entire trip thanks to these vents. There's a sink, and of course, here's the shower. Everything in here is just so nice. It's a great setup, so comfortable, and it feels fresh and new, which is a great thing in my book. It's heads and shoulders above the old Viewliner. Here's my roomette from my trip with Amtrak's Cardinal, the older coach. I'll explain how to be sure you can book yourself into the newer car a little later in the video. These bottles of water were a nice addition to the room, but I was getting hungry. Our room attendant soon came around to take our orders and ask what time we'd like to eat. Lunch is at 12:30, 1:30, or 2:15. I'm hoping for 12:30, but we'll see.
12-ish.
Good news, there's some meatballs. Bad news, I'm caught. Thankfully, I got my first choice for lunch, 12:30. We rolled into Philadelphia right on time at 12:30, so I headed to the dining car for lunch. For sleeper car passengers, all meals and 1 alcohol drink are included in the price of your ticket. You can eat here in the dining car or in your room, and your attendant can even deliver your food right to you. Amtrak's East Coast routes still haven't returned to traditional dining, which is too bad. After the steak I had on the Texas Eagle, I can say without a doubt those tasty meals are a real highlight of the experience. That said, can I really call it an Amtrak trip unless I start with the meatballs?
Vital Proteins, collagen peptides supports joint flexibility, which is good when we ask our legs to be arms. Vital Proteins, for everybody with a body.
Hello?
Okay, see then. Should I really be cooking a new recipe for so many people? Open a world of instant mastery with Rebel Plus and discover over 1,000 guided recipes from leading experts tailored to your Rebel oven. Plus, cook guides which help you turn common fridge ingredients.
The fact that this route is Amtrak's most popular shouldn't really
You should do it too. It should do, yeah.
It did. You see, I think of Amtrak as a way to see the world, but it's a lot more than that. Sure, there may be no better way to experience the diversity of this country than from Amtrak's long-distance routes. But Amtrak is also an essential part of the public transportation network in this country. Nearly 40% of the U.S. population lives along the U.S. East Coast, which makes the Superstar service a vital part of the transportation network.
Wanting
to move across a massive swath of the nation. Put simply, this is Amtrak's most popular route because it serves a large number of cities with large numbers of people looking to connect with each other. That's not to say there's nothing to see here. Far from it, in fact. That's the Susquehanna, the longest river on the East Coast. It's Aberdeen, home of the Army's proving grounds, actually.
Ah!
Bush River. first stretch break. Approaching fast. Well, that's Baltimore. Here in Washington, we'll switch from electric to diesel power, which means the bathrooms won't work while we're here. So if you need to go, go now before we get there. Stepping outside for the first time on a long-distance train always feels good. I took a little time to check out my coach, named for the Rappahannock River. But then I quickly made my way up front to see the Amtrak team switch out our engines. To think, this complicated process takes place dozens of times each day. These guys, they're definitely pros. I got a little distracted by all that action. All aboard, gotta run. But I made it with time to spare. Well, not much. If you're sitting on this side, the right side, in the direction of travel, it means you've got a little tour of the monuments as you look out of Washington, D.C. We passed by several cars on the auto train. I haven't tried this one yet. Have you? What was your experience like? Let me know. Our train had 6 sleeper cars and 5 coach cars. There was a dining car and cafe car that separated the sleepers from coaches. The dining car, where I had lunch, was only available to sleeper passengers. The cafe car was available to anyone and had plenty of food available nearly all the time. Since I took this trip, Amtrak has upgraded their offerings a bit, but it's always fairly easy to find something to tide you over here, so long as you're not hoping to lose weight.
Oh, my being
The
fat.
afternoon passed by without interruption while I watched the Commonwealth of Virginia pass by my window. Just put in my dinner request. I want to eat here. I'm having a beef at 7 o'clock. Our next stretch break came here at Richmond. At some stations, like this one, passengers are able to check and collect baggage. Back in my room, just in time, as we pull out of the station. The sky put on quite a show for us as we crossed over the James River.
Get ready. In the Air Force Reserve, you get all the benefits, education, and freedom to take charge of your own life. If you're ready to do for yourself what you can do for your country, you might just be ready for the Air Force Reserve.
And wouldn't you know it, dinner arrived right on time, just as we crossed into North Carolina. Having room service is
Hello?
really nice. There's plenty of room to spread out, especially since I had this whole bedroom to myself. It was really comfortable and, frankly, kind of cozy. The rain finally hit us in Rocky Mount, North Carolina. I'll never complain about traveling by train in the rain. It feels really nice. The weather soon passed, else we passed the weather, and the sunset was magnificent. The final stretch break I'll see today is Raleigh, North Carolina. Before stepping out, I asked the owner to set up my bed. The skyline was nice. I was ready for sleep. In its bed arrangement, the room requires some ballet moves to enter. The sink is mere inches from the edge of the lower bunk. But its size is, as far as I'm concerned, a reasonable trade-off. This bed is big and comfortable. And yes, my own pillow was in the mix here. Good night. 8.5 hours of sleep, then I woke up in South Georgia. Morning. It's 6:30.
It's salad time.
No joke. I'm feeling pretty busy. Ready to get the day started.
It's salad time.
Despite all that,
I gotta get ready for work.
so I headed back to the dining car for breakfast, which started at 6:30 anyway. Unlike lunch and dinner, there's no pre-ordering, but my sausage biscuit didn't take too long to microwave. There are also small snacks and even yogurt.
Ooh, cereal. I took cereal.
I took Fruity Loops.
As my coffee started to have its desired effect, and I watched the sunrise over North Florida, I started thinking about Amtrak. I've never really explained here on YouTube how I fell in love with trains, and Amtrak specifically. Like a lot of people, I was pretty depressed during my life in 2021. I like the fact that I couldn't travel, put a damper on my joy. Suzanne, who many of you have met in other videos, noticed it, and when restrictions eased, she suggested we book a trip on a train. No way, I said. That'll be terrible, I said. She pointed me to some of my friend Paul Winging It Lucas's videos, and I was inspired. We took Amtrak's Empire Builder to Glacier National Park, and it really turned my perspective around for the first time in a long time. On that journey, I felt calm, relaxed, and just downright good. Since then, we've had so many amazing adventures on the rails. And now, every time I get on a train, about 30 minutes into the journey, that same sense of total relaxation just washes over me. We call it entering the rail zone. And as powerful as the rail zone may be, coffee always helps too. And thankfully, it's available 24/7 in the sleeper car. So I grabbed a refill and returned to my room, which had been transformed as if by magic. Well, the magic of an Amtrak attendant. And I'll need this sofa. We've reached Florida, where we'll spend the rest of the day on our march toward Miami.
Hello from Jacksonville, Florida. It's a stretch break here because the train's taking on more water and fuel. Water's important for coffee.
According to the timetable, it should take us 12 hours to travel from here in Jacksonville to the top of the state, all the way to Miami at the bottom. But will we make it on time? Just like that, we were off. For much of the day, I watched Florida pass by. And there are so many great things about Amtrak. I don't have to tell you, though. I mean, you're watching this video, right? But one of the least acknowledged is the appreciation it can give you for geography. I've been to Florida more times than I can count, but it's always been flying in and out of one city or another. This trip, along the length of the state, is the first time I've been more fully able to appreciate everything it has to offer. Like surprising exports appreciated the world over.
We're at Pearson, which is the nation's fern capital. Most of the commercial ferns they had in cities are grown right here.
Now that's a greener grass fact you can use. So we reached Winter Park, which sadly was not a stretch break. Even this brief glimpse of the station made me want to check it out further. Eagle-eyed passengers better start looking for a mouse, though.
Next up, Orlando.
Stacks of highways like these often come to mind when I think of Florida. But I was happy to step off the train and explore this station.
You want one of the new roads, you got to make sure you're in one of the even-numbered cars in this train rather than odd-numbered cars. Now, if you're assigned one of the odd-numbered cars, you want the new road, you got to call Amtrak to get on the right car. That's right.
Here we are in Kissimmee, and from here we're going to branch off to the west and make our way to Tampa before coming back to then head south.
I had lunch about 12:30 again today, Lakeland, Florida. The nicest thing I could say about the chicken a la Rosa is that its appearance matches its taste. Take that for what you will. Lunch marks the final meal of the Silver Star. The train is scheduled to get into Miami at 6:35 tonight, so a visit to the cafe bar may be in my future.
Hello from outside Tampa. We're reversing into the station right now. We've got to get back in there because then we'll use the same track we just came in on to get back on our way to Miami. This is also the last stretch stop of our trip.
This was clearly a challenge for the engineers. There were a lot of intersections, traffic, and other hazards to navigate. Here's another huge shout out to the Amtrak professionals who keep us safe. But we made it to Tampa.
Buy 4 tires and get up to $200 in savings with rebates at Bell Tire's year-end sale, December 26th through January 6th. Only Bell Tire includes the entire life package, exclusive and extensive maintenance to help you get more miles out of every tire you buy. Get up to $200 in savings, December 26th through January 6th. All brands, any budget. Buy online and you will save time. Get up to $200 on 4 tires. Get the lowest tire price, period, and get entire life. Only at Bell Tire.
I don't like anything, but Downy Light, just right.
After about 15 minutes, we were on our way again, navigating the same busy streets, but this time moving forward. I went to the cafe car where I was able to sit kind of like on an observation car or sightseer lounge on other Amtrak trains. But our forward momentum only lasted so long.
Apparently sitting outside Tampa, apparently there's an issue with the engine. Conductors are checking it out. Hopefully they get sorted soon and we can get on our way, but time will tell.
And here we go. We're moving again about 30 minutes later.